Manchester City are imploding right now. We are falling apart, collapsing. It is a disaster at Manchester City right now. A complete capitulation of all sorts. It's a complete mess. A disgrace, in all honesty, for Manchester City right now, because I saw this coming. I saw the dip. I saw the decline. Manchester City were absolutely on the decline at some point. It was inevitable. You cannot maintain the levels that we were achieving in previous years. Looking back historically, the last 6-7 years, Manchester City have dominated football across the globe. Hands down, but that is the reason why we are failing right now, because we are continuously looking backwards as a football club. We keep reflecting on it. I said it after the Spurs game in my match reaction. Go and have a look, listen to what I said. I specifically said, stop looking back. Pep Guardiola, in the first sentence of his pre-match press conference before this Feyenoord game, says, well, we've won 6 out of the last 7 Premier League titles, continuously reflecting back. It's bored. There's an arrogance that comes with success. I think it's understandable. I think it's perfectly reasonable. That blend of arrogance and confidence is a normal, biological reaction to success. And I think some people have less than others. A few a little bit more humble than others. But I think Pep Guardiola's dealt with it reasonably well up until this point. Because right now it's boiled over into way too much arrogance, way too much complacency, and it's surrounding the football club. All of the players yesterday. And spending will not fix this. I am telling you right now, going into the January transfer market, it's needed. I'm not saying we don't need to spend. We do need to spend. We need to try to recover this situation. But there is no spending in the world that is going to get Haaland to take the chances that he should have been taking in previous games. He did very well yesterday, scoring the 2 goals, getting back to something that we recognise from Erling Haaland. He played very well. Man of the match for me. Player ratings are going to roll on your screen. Take a look at them if you wish. Foden, is any spending going to turn him into the player of the season version of Phil Foden that we saw last season? No. Is any spending that we're going to do going to stop Josko Gvardiol giving the ball to the opposition with ease, game after game? No, I don't think it is. What spending will do is may plug up a few holes in midfield and try and prevent the transitions. That's about it. And maybe that could be enough to get us over the line to becoming a little bit more respectable. I can't see the spending that we're going to do is going to go and get us a Premier League title or a Champions League trophy. I can't see that. You know what I mean? This is a unity problem. This is a lack of cohesion in the right direction. There's too much arrogance and complacency. And the best thing I saw about the result yesterday was the faces of the Manchester City players after that final whistle. They were fucking jaws to the ground, mate. They dropped to the ground. They were... I was in the watch, I was literally jaw-dropping. It was absolutely gobsmacking for Manchester City. And those players yesterday, it looked like they'd seen a ghost. And that, I'm hoping that's the wake-up point. But you're looking round the corner now at Liverpool and thinking, we're going to get slaughtered, mate. We're going to get absolutely slaughtered. That if we play anything like that, 15 minutes at Anfield, you give 15 minutes of sloppy football to Anfield, you need to be perfect for 90 minutes. 90 minutes, and we were bloody brilliant. Until the 80th minute, and we just capitulate. 75th minute, whatever it was, the last 15 minutes of the game was a joke. An absolute joke. You've got to show humility in that situation. You've got to recognise the circumstances as a club, as a team. I understand the principles of Pep Guardiola. Clearly, we have principles, and Pep Guardiola he will die on that hill. He will die on that hill, Pep Guardiola. And I appreciate his stubbornness to a degree. I appreciate it. I think it's right. It's the reason we got what we got in recent years. The reason for our success is because the same people were saying Pep's not good enough for the Premier League in 2016 when he tried these things. The players weren't there to use. He kept with it. He stuck with it. But that was the start of the learning curve. These players, some of them were learning as we were on the job, Now we're in a situation where, again, we don't have the players to do a lot of what we want to do because of injuries. So we have to adapt. We have to adapt to that situation. We have to adapt to game management situations. You have to recognise that we've conceded a goal. Just chill. Just calm yourselves. 1 goal goes in. Stupid mistake from Josko Gvardiol. What is he thinking there? There's no logic behind it. It's indefensible. Indefensible to be lofting a ball up in the air to Ederson. First of all, you're asking Ederson to, if the pass comes off, you're asking Ederson to bring it down out of the air under pressure from the Feyenoord keeper, bring it down, and Ederson, knowing him, he could probably do it. But the fact that you even tried it was stupid. To then try it and then get it wrong it's just a disaster, mate. That was an absolute disaster. And then you think, right, okay, horrible mistake. Never mind, mistakes happen in game. That's 1 goal that we've conceded. Again, very sloppy, but we've got 3 in the bag. Let's chill now. Drop a little bit deeper. Recognise that their momentum, the pendulum has swung towards Feyenoord now. Just chill, mate. Go and take the game. Kill it off. Pass that ball around and just pass the game until the final whistle. Pass it off the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Just chill. Just relax. Instead, I'm seeing Jack Grealish trying to take a quick free kick at 3-1. What's the rush, mate? Why are we rushing? Ball goes out for a throw-in. City players running over to try and get the game underway. We're 3-1 up. We've just lost 5 games in a row and we've conceded a goal. Clearly there's going to be a few jangling nerves in that City side now that are a bit concerned that, hopefully we don't concede a second, because then we really will be under pressure. 5 minutes later, how can you not smell that danger? How can the average fan, even the moronic fans, are understanding this? Do you know what I mean? The basic fans who barely watch football could see what was going to happen. It was so blatantly obvious. And it was abysmal game management. Poor, so poor. I see a lot of people criticising Pep Guardiola for the substitutions he makes. Now, surely, as a fan, you can see the logic in the substitutions. The amount of substitutions, there was a couple. I don't think he should have taken Nathan Ake off. That's the one mistake that I think Pep made there. The other substitutions, he's got to protect Phil Foden. I think he should have taken Haaland off, to be honest, and it didn't amount to anything, thankfully. I was surprised to see Kevin De Bruyne come on because of the fact that Liverpool game's round the corner, but I understand the logic. Getting him minutes, testing his legs, like opening up those muscles so he's ready, he's match ready to start the game against Liverpool. That's the key for why Kevin De Bruyne comes on. I get it. I see the logic. But it's hindsight again. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. You make that raft of substitutions and then bang, bang, bang. People are going to point the finger at Pep Guardiola and say, why are you making those substitutions? But they made sense. They needed protecting. Some of the players are already half fit. That's why Nathan Ake comes off, because he's not fully fit. But he was bossing that back line. I feel like Ruben Diaz is going to come in between in the middle of our defence against Liverpool, and it's very much needed. We needed that leadership quality. But once we lost Nathan Ake, one of the only defenders that was left on the pitch that was actually a leader, because as good as Manuel Akanji is, he's not a vocal presence. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't have the leadership qualities. He's a fantastic defender, but he doesn't strike me as a leader. You know, Nathan Ake does. You know, I feel like he's a commander in that position, you know, which is why he's trusted mostly as a centre-back as well as a left centre-back. And I heard so many City fans prior to this problem, like, give the kids a chance, give the kids a chance. Now Pep Guardiola gives the kids a chance. The same people who are having a go at Pep Guardiola for not giving the kids a chance are now having a go at him for bringing on the kids. I mean, mate, pick your fucking lane, mate. Pick a lane. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. It's an absolute disaster at Manchester City right now. This is the self-defence mechanism. You've got to chuckle. You've got to chuckle. Because it's like, what else do we do? I think we need to look at the season now and plan for next. I'm already looking at next season now. I'm thinking, like, okay, the summer, January, could paper over cracks, I think. Damage limitation is what Manchester City are looking at now. Make sure you get in the top 4. You've got to get in that top 4, because if we fail to get in the top 4, the summer will be a disaster. Next season will be a disaster. You have to get in that top 4. We lose the game, Brighton, Chelsea, and whichever, Arsenal. If those 3 teams win, and we pretty much inevitably going to lose against Liverpool, you never know, though. You never know. I still have some stupid belief inside there. Stupid on my part. 100% stupidity from me. But there is a small percentage of belief because of the recent history, of course. But still, the logical part of my brain, which at the minute is 99% of my brain, is telling me that we're going to get absolutely spanked by Liverpool. To be honest, they smell blood, and it's dribbling. It is pouring out of Manchester City, the blood right now. And I mean, we're going to get ripped to pieces if we go. And it takes 5 minutes to lose the game. It takes 5 minutes at Anfield, because they can blitz you in a blink of an eye. You can be controlling the game, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 2-3-0. We've seen it before. How many? Even when we've been dominating and we've not been in bad runs of form like this, we've gone to Anfield and had our fucking skirts pulled over our heads. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why we're wearing skirts. I don't know where that came from, but it's a disaster right now. I'm a disaster. I'm a fucking walking mess. I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm literally losing sleep over Manchester City. This is what I used to mock rival fans for, imagining them losing sleep over Manchester City, but they're sleeping like fucking babies right now, aren't they? Do you know, I'm struggling. I'm struggling to find positivities in this Manchester City side right now, because I mean I maintain it's psychological. I will not stop suggesting that, because I believe this, because there's no way this situation can be fixed by one player being signed, or even two. You're telling me two players coming in can drastically change and stop Guardiola making mistakes, and Foden start finding assists, and Haaland finding the back of the net more frequently? No, signings aren't going to fix this. No, this is a psychological problem. The backlash, the victims of our own success. It's almost inevitable and understandable, but you've got to recognise the problem now. Right now, Pep Guardiola, you've got to recognise it, show some humility, adapt to the situation, play Matheus Nunes in midfield now, I think, because the physicality that he showed yesterday, he's incredibly loose with the ball. He's a dangerous player to play in defensive midfield, because he's probably going to give it away. That's a problem for Matheus Nunes. But the physicality that he showed, you know, the fact that he was winning so many tackles yesterday, and just a physical presence that's so badly needed in this midfield with the options that we've got. You know, obviously I would rather Rodri, I would rather Kovacic, I would rather so many other players to play in that position. Potentially John Stones, who's injured. Akanji carrying an injury right now. You know, so many other players. I've just listed 4 players I would rather see in defensive midfield than Matheus Nunes. But that's where we are right now. Matheus Nunes has to play in that midfield to beef up that midfield in terms of a physical presence. But it's an absolute disaster. Pep needs to look in the mirror. The players need to look in the mirror. This is not a time for talking about Pep going, though. Absolutely not. The man deserves a chance to rectify this situation. It's insane to think that all of that amazing work can just be undone in the space of 6 games. 6 football matches after 7 years of domination, and 6 football matches can result in the man just being eradicated from Manchester City as a legend, as a hero. You want him sacked, do you? You want him sacked, not even giving him a chance to fix it. That's a disgrace. That is a disgrace right there. The man deserves the chance to fix this situation. Hands down. How many times have United in the Fergie days gone through eras like this where they've struggled and were trophyless for a season or two, where they struggled? Chelsea came up and started ripping up trees under Abramovich, you know? City are now doing it. United went through spells under Fergie, but they stuck by him. And even though the club was on a gradual decline with Man United, we're not doing that. We are not on a gradual decline because we have good owners. We have owners that are willing to spend, owners that are willing to invest in the community, and to build a structure, an organogram of staff that is the envy of the world, and which is why United keep trying to poach our staff, and all the best players in the world, and all the best staff members in the world are trying to be poached from Manchester City. Arsenal nicking our set-piece coach, you know, United with Omar Barada, so many, because of the structure of this football club. One of the main figures in this football club is Pep Guardiola. He's part of that. You've got to give him a chance to fix this. You've got to. I think it's so important. The game against Liverpool, you never know. You never know. I mean, if we can come away with a win in that game, it changes everything. It changes everything. But the likeliness of that is incredibly slim. What are your predictions for the Liverpool game? I imagine most of you are saying it's going to, 3-0. I would take 3-0 right now. Just don't get humiliated. Don't let it become 4 or 5-0. Be in the game. This is the moment where City needs to look at themselves and just be like, come on, look at yourselves. Where's your pride? Do you know what I mean? As an individual, as a professional, football is your occupation, mate. Pride. You need to show it now. This is the moment where you just go, I don't care about the previous principles. This is just a case of just going on that pitch and just getting back to the fundamental basics and just keeping it as simple as possible. What do you think, Blues? Get in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts. Like and subscribe to Typical City, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City now, holding up silver.